the DVD playback quality, and that will bring home entertainment to its next level.
This new Philips DVD-TV combination uses an intelligent user interface. You don't have to figure out what input to select or how to set the thing up. If you put a DVD in the drawer, it automatically selects the right input and assumes you want to watch the DVD without further user interaction required. The drive in this TV is also a CDRW, so you can use it as a peripheral with your computer. Tired of trying to figure out how to set the clock on your dumb VCR? This smart TV called the Samba has a clock that automatically gets the time from information embedded in the television signal. One of the hottest new products being developed here by Philips is this internet radio called Streamium. It looks like any old boombox, but this is a web radio which can access thousands of radio stations from around the world via the internet.
If you would just one-to-one transpose the PC internet experience to a CE product, you obviously would not score very high. So the challenge we had is to really make an interface which was non-PC based, and in fact has nothing to do with the PC experience. You hook it up, it switches on, and it connects you to the internet as a radio. So it is really a radio experience with one small thing which is different. You have stations all over the world.
The Streamium internet radio comes with a database management interface which automatically sorts the stations by geography, genre, or source.
It means you can select regions. If you say I want to have music out of the US, for instance, if you're Hong Kong based, you could select the US. You could also select a genre, which means if you're interested in jazz or rock or pop, you can select that genre, which will narrow you down to a certain number of stations, still thousands. Now the next thing is you would take the top of the pile and you would listen to it. If that's an interesting one, you would store that under a preset, just like you would do with a normal radio.
The Streamium can automatically generate a favorites list, so you can instantly call up your top 10 internet radio stations based on what you've listened to in the past. No need to know anything about URLs or media players, since the Philips web radio manages all of that in the background.
Philips is indeed in between as a liaison to take care that you don't have to dial IPs, that you don't have to think of which URL, that you don't have to figure out, do I have the right player on my PC and is it compatible with this thing? So we are in between and making basically the liaison between any internet music provider which we have an arrangement with and this device.
Most of the staff here at the Philips Innovation Campus are engineers. Most of them came here from other parts of the world.
At this point of time, we have about 800 engineers working in the various creation labs in Singapore, made up of easily 30 nationalities, ranging from the homegrown boys to the Americans, the Brazilians, the Dutch, and many others.
Despite Singapore's small size and distance from Europe and the United States, they apparently don't have a problem here recruiting engineering talent.
Comparatively, it's easy. There are several factors driving this ease in bringing talents. One is a society which is very multinational. You feel very at home here, at ease coming to work here. There is little distinction between who is a foreigner and who is a local. In fact, we don't really care too much about that one. The language is easy as well. The government policy is very supportive. That makes processing easy. And the family, by and large, finds it safe and easy to assimilate.
Besides big multinationals like Philips, Singapore is also home to several small startups that are using technology in a creative way. On the second floor of this former Chinatown chop house is a company called Peach Blossom Media, which creates web content and television shows. It was the first company to ever sell a television show, a kids' animation series, based on a pilot that was developed entirely in Flash, rather than traditional cell animation.
What's interesting about it is, usually the cartoon is done using cell animation, hand-drawn, but because of Singapore's labor costs, we can't do it in cell. So what we try to do is use technology. For example, we use Flash So the pilot was actually done in Flash. It enables us to do it at a very reasonable cost in quite a short amount of time.
The breakthrough for Peach Blossom was figuring out how to use what is basically a web tool, Flash, in a more powerful way, so as to create smooth animations that could rival traditional animation techniques.
Typically, the Flash stuff you see on webisodes are, well, I guess maybe it's done by web designers using Flash or just Flash designers. But for us, our approach was from ground up. We are creatives, we are animators. We are actually animators using Flash. So a lot of the movements is actually much more natural. You don't get the jerkiness or the robotic movements that you assume that you associate with Flash.
This series they developed is called the Tomato Twins, and it's the first television series ever developed in Singapore to be carried by Nickelodeon. The series is a marketer's delight because it involves not only television, the story also unfolds on cell phones.
The concept of Tomato Twins is you have this show on TV that kids can watch. Now, while you're watching it, people can actually play SMS games. It's like the games are not just simple quizzes or what's Theo doing, what's Tuan doing, but it's actually integrated to the script so that people get very involved with the script, with the story, with how the twins are fighting their evil nemesis, Catastrophe.
Tomato Twins also blends in a website where viewers can earn points to win prizes, creating a mixed media entertainment property with plenty of opportunities to make advertisers happy.
The more points you win, you collect all these things called tomato gems, which are points. You get 1,000 points, 2,000 points. You collect all those, then you go online to the Tomato Twins website and you play this thing called Tomato Battle, where you team up with another kid from anywhere else, you become a twin, and you guys fight the bad guys. So it's like a whole ecosystem thing.
Singapore has very ambitious plans for growing the high-tech industry here. This is a promotional video for a new development project called One North, designed to be a kind of planned Silicon Valley.
Well, Silicon Valley, as you are aware,